Captain's log. The date is April 3rd, 2026. Me and dog are on a trail. So yeah, it's not a very fun video or topic for me right now, but it's reality. And if I'm going to continue documenting my journey off of psych meds and all that stuff, I want to be accurate. I want to be honest with people. So let's see, today, like I said, it's Good Friday. It's April 3rd, 2026. And me and dog are getting some exercise in. And yeah, no, I've got anxiety today. I've got depression. But I also have a positive outlook on life. You know, I honestly look back and say, like, this is for the right reasons. And, you know, I have myself to blame, but also, you know, it's a shared load of responsibility, I feel, as far as the VA and all that stuff. So I help carry the load and the burden. So I wouldn't be here if it weren't for them. It's good and bad. The point is, today I find myself in debt. I've got some credit card debt, and a lot of that stems from me getting fired, right? My cost of living, my way of life, slightly different if you have your pension and you have a job, right? So when I decided to go off the meds, it affected me. And I look back and I say, like, hey, if I didn't go off the meds, would I still have had that confrontation where I got into that argument with my manager? Would I have had the confidence, or would I have been more sedated to the point where I avoided conflict and just let those things slide, right? And would that place, or would I be better for it if I still worked there and we didn't get into that argument and I didn't post all that stuff on Facebook? I'll never know. And if I honestly look back on it, I think it was the right choice on some ways. So, one of the topics that is very common, you know, early on, a lot of people learn this early on, especially if you have a security clearance and you work in certain career fields, is debt and how it affects people and their actions, their choices they make. You know, someone in debt can be considered a negative asset or a positive asset, depending on how you look at them. Someone in debt is more likely to take certain jobs. You know, they're more likely to settle for jobs they otherwise wouldn't do. They're a security compromise on some level if they are in debt and an enemy force then persuades them to do certain things for them based off of, you know, their level of debt and monetary gain, right? So, I mean, in the espionage world, or anything involving those kind of security clearances where you have sensitive material or information knowledge, that's been a common tactic or tool that people utilize to not just test employees or personnel, but the enemies quite literally use that to their advantage to potentially extract information or gain knowledge of secret programs, right? Or sensitive items, sensitive material, different things like that. So, that being said, it is serious. Being in debt is serious, but the government loves people in debt. The government loves its people in debt. All governments do. You know why? It creates a need for job and stability. It creates it's an oppressive system to keep people down, right? It you start your life off most, and I mean it's getting better. I feel like there's been a lot of things getting pushed through legislation and all this stuff in politics and in modern day society where there are options for people to start their lives in minimum with a minimal amount of debt. But historically, you get out of high school, you start your adult life. If you want to do something with your life, you need to take out a loan to get some education, right? Now, they can be lower interest loans and all this stuff with repayment plans, but ultimately, in most cases, you're taking out these $40,000 loans, 40 plus $1,000 loans just to get an education, and you're starting off your career in debt. It's a messed up thing. But like I said, it creates it creates some kind of stability, and people in their place, right? It keeps people stuck in a working labor field or going down certain career paths because they need to now pay off this debt. And in a lot of cases, most people in my experience, I don't have student debt, never have really, the school of life, but from everyone I've interacted with, it's stressful. It's like you spend the first part of your career paying off that debt, and before you know it, you eventually get yourself out. But there are so many people that I've talked to and known that have literally like had to forfeit their debt or claim bankruptcy or all these different things, and in some cases they don't even get to go into their chosen career path that they wanted to originally. Their education becomes almost meaningless. They end up doing something completely different just to repay student loans and all these other things. Not just the student loans, but like the credit card debt that comes with that, right? um Anyways, rambling topic, but it's just some situational awareness about how different tactics people can implement, different tactics to put someone in debt, keep someone in debt, and how to survive in debt. It's possible, it's doable, it sucks. At the end of the day, get a freaking jab and pay off your debt. You know what I mean? Um, but it's a realization that the government loves to use debt as a way to keep people stable and stuck in their roles, in their lives,